We're still more than a year away from selecting our next governor here in New Jersey, and with an already crowded field, Democratic candidate and Jersey City Mayor Steve Fulop is letting the public know his policies early and often. Today, he released his plan to fight government corruption in the Garden State and called out some powerful political leaders in doing so. Senior political correspondent David Cruz breaks down the mayor's anti-corruption platform and explains the negative impacts Fulop's approach could have on his campaign.
You got to give Jersey City Mayor and gubernatorial candidate Steve Fulop credit. First one out of the gate and still a year away from the primary, the Democrat isn't afraid to take you into the tall policy grass, as he's done with regularly released policy papers on issues from education to transportation. This week he took on government reform and corruption. Coincidentally, he says, considering the news of the past few months and weeks.
It's more of a coincidence in the sense, look, I mean, my background with both Bob Menendez and George Norcross are fairly clear. In 15-16, when George Norcross was at his peak power and influence, there was no lack of coverage around where and how we would disagree around issues ranging from Atlantic City to beyond. Bob Menendez has been a more complicated situation because he looms very, very large in Hudson County.
But those are the indicted, the latest poster children for Jersey corruption. Easy pickings, as it were. But again, by coincidence, says the mayor, two other powerful pols with whom Fulop is tangled are also used as visual aids in a section called, quote, conflicts of interest reform for party chairs and elected officials.
The chairman of Middlesex worked for the Carpenters, became a chairman, and then he became a lobbyist. And mind you, if you look at those lobbyist firms for Cross River, he's a public relations. He's not even disclosed as a lobbyist. And he unilaterally selects a huge number of legislators that he continuously communicates with. You have the chairman of Essex that represents insurance and energy companies, the largest in New Jersey. And then you have the legislature voting on things like changing the structure of Horizon or massive hundreds of millions of dollars of subsidies to PSE&G.
Fulop would tighten reporting restrictions on donors, inject more cash into the Election Law Enforcement Commission, restore elements of the Open Public Records Act, such as fee shifting, and put mandatory dates and limits on the state's budgeting process, requiring bills like the final budget bill to be publicly available for 72 hours ahead of a vote. Ranked choice voting and same-day registration are also in the policy paper.
This is a campaign that is putting together ideas. And you can judge those ideas. You can let those ideas stand on their own merits. You can disagree with those ideas, but he's putting ideas forth.
Of course, the downside of driving in the renegade lane is that you can offend the very people you need to support you, like in Hudson, where a new party chairman, County Executive Craig Guy, closely aligned with State Senator Brian Stack, who's not a Fulop fan, says he's rescinding the endorsement of Fulop by his predecessor, Anthony Vanieri, aligned with the North Bergen mayor, who is a Fulop supporter. Vanieri says that could make Hudson a battleground next year.
I think a majority of mayors probably will go with Mayor Fulop. That's what we're going to wait for. And leaves it up to, naturally, Craig Guy has to meet with all the mayors and see where we all stand as an organization.
Fulop will work around the party infrastructure, he says, peeling off big-name supporters like Senator Angela McKnight, who posted her support for the mayor on X last week. It's an unconventional approach that makes party leaders wary of Fulop, who's keen on becoming a governor not beholden to a dying party political system or the politicians who run it. I'm David Cruz, NJ Spotlight News.